The warm summer evening of August 10th, 2017, should have been a straightforward yet captivating assignment for Kim Wall, a journalist with a talent for uncovering untold stories. With her sharp mind and fearless approach, she had traveled to some of the most remote and dangerous corners of the globe. On this occasion, her journey took her to Copenhagen, where she was set to interview Peter Madsen, a self-proclaimed inventor, engineer, and one of Denmark's most celebrated eccentrics. What began as an opportunity to document the intersection of human ingenuity and ambition would unravel into one of the most chilling crimes in modern Danish history. Kim had been planning the interview for weeks. Madsen, known for his flamboyant personality and audacious projects, was the kind of subject she excelled at profiling. His homemade submarine, the UC-3 Nautilus, represented the culmination of years of work, a testament to his singular vision. But there were whispers of something darker behind his public persona, rumors of erratic behavior and a controlling temperament. Still, the submarine seemed safe enough, and Kim had navigated more dangerous territories in her career. As the evening sun dipped low, Kim boarded the submarine at Refshaleøen Harbor. She messaged her boyfriend, saying she'd be back in a few hours. The plan was to celebrate their upcoming move to China with friends later that night. The submarine submerged, and as the waters of Køge Bay enveloped the vessel, so too did Kim vanish from sight. When Kim failed to return, her boyfriend, Ole Staab, grew increasingly alarmed. By midnight, his calls and messages went unanswered. Hours passed in agonizing silence until, by morning, he contacted authorities. The Danish Navy quickly launched a search operation, deploying helicopters and patrol boats to comb the waters. Madsen's submarine was finally spotted the following day. A rescue crew found him standing atop the vessel, waving for help. Minutes later, the Nautilus sank in what Madsen later described as a technical failure. Pulled from the water, Madsen was initially calm and cooperative. He claimed he had dropped Kim off at a pier the previous night. But as investigators pressed him for details, his story began to falter. Kim's disappearance was now treated as a criminal investigation, and Madsen was placed under arrest. Authorities were determined to retrieve the submarine, which they believed held vital clues. When divers located the wreck, the grim reality of what had happened began to emerge. Inside the submarine, they found no trace of Kim, but discovered evidence suggesting foul play, bloodstains that matched her DNA. The sinking of the vessel appeared deliberate, a clumsy attempt to destroy evidence. On August 21st, the case took a horrifying turn. A cyclist on Amager Island found a torso washed up on the shoreline. The limbs and head had been removed, and the torso bore multiple stab wounds, which forensic experts later concluded were inflicted post-mortem to release gases and prevent it from floating. The DNA was a match for Kim Wall. As more of Kim's remains were found in the coming weeks, including her head and limbs sealed in plastic bags, the details of her final moments became clearer. Autopsy reports revealed no blunt trauma to her skull, contradicting Madsen's revised claim that she had died when a heavy hatch accidentally fell on her. The evidence pointed instead to a chillingly premeditated act. Investigators discovered that Madsen had brought tools aboard the submarine, including saws, knives, and metal pipes, all of which were later used to dismember Kim's body. It was no accident. What truly shocked the public was the psychological profile that began to emerge of Madsen. On the surface, he was a charismatic dreamer, a man of grand ideas. But behind closed doors, he was consumed by dark fantasies of violence and domination. Police searches of his computer uncovered disturbing videos depicting women being tortured and murdered. Witnesses described him as a manipulative and controlling individual, capable of charm but prone to sudden outbursts of anger. During the trial, Madsen's demeanor oscillated between cold detachment and desperate attempts to manipulate the narrative. He clung to the story that Kim's death had been an accident, though he could not explain why he had dismembered her body or why he had brought weapons aboard the submarine. Prosecutors argued that Madsen had orchestrated the entire event. They presented evidence that he had searched for videos of decapitations and methods of disposing of bodies in the days leading up to the crime. His obsession with control, coupled with his morbid fantasies, painted a picture of a deeply disturbed individual. The trial was harrowing, not only for the gruesome details presented, but for the emotional toll it took on Kim's family and friends. Ingrid and Joachim Wall, her parents, sat through the proceedings with quiet dignity, determined to see justice served. In statements to the media, they spoke of their daughter's bravery, curiosity, and compassion, qualities that defined her life far more than the horrific circumstances of her death. They channeled their grief into creating the Kim Wall Memorial Fund, which supports young female journalists in pursuing dangerous and underreported stories. In April 2018, the court handed down its verdict. Peter Madsen was found guilty of murder, sexual assault, and indecent handling of a corpse. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, the harshest penalty under Danish law. The judges cited the premeditated nature of the crime and his lack of remorse as factors in their decision. Madsen appealed the sentence but lost, sealing his fate as one of Denmark's most infamous criminals. The murder of Kim Wall sent shockwaves through the global journalistic community. For many, it was a stark reminder of the risks inherent in pursuing the truth, even in seemingly benign environments. Kim's legacy endures in the stories she told, the people she inspired, and the fund that now bears her name. Her parents have worked tirelessly to ensure that her memory is not defined by her death, but by the life she lived and the ideals she championed. The Nautilus lies at the bottom of Koga Bay, a sunken monument to a crime that shook a nation. The vessel, once a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition, now serves as a reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind even the most dazzling facades. For those who knew Kim, the pain of her loss is a constant presence, tempered only by the knowledge that her work and spirit continue to inspire a new generation of journalists to tell the stories that matter no matter the cost.